Alright everybody, welcome back. The rifle has been returned from Rifle Dynamics. The time frame was about 30 days. I sent it out at the end of October. They received it early November. From early November, I got it. I received word from them that it was going to ship late November. I took possession back around the first week of December, so right about 30 days. They were spot on with their time estimate. As for the actual costs, here is the final estimate here. Kind of go over what we did. This was the premium Arsenal upgrade package. On top of that, I did go ahead and have them put on their new adjustable gas sight on the front. And I had it Cerakote, or I shouldn't say Cerakoted, I had it the Norals Moly coated with a satin finish. So overall, I don't know if you can see this here, this is what was included. And the one nice thing too, I did tell them that I run the Tula 124 grain ammunition through it, and they did go out and get some of this ammunition and test fire it through the rifle. That's what Casey had told me. So overall, the total cost was about $1,150 to have the work that you're about to see completed. Alright, so here it is. I did notice there's a couple scratches right there. I don't know if that happened in transit or if it happened there, but those weren't there before the rifle left. Overall, here she is. I think they did a really good job on the paint. This is their muzzle brake. And I'll go ahead and flip this over and you can kind of see. Here's where they attached the spot weld. The sheen is overall really nice for the rifle. The one thing I also noticed, which I was kind of shocked at, is this is the Ultimate Alg Trigger. I don't know if you can see that, but the Ultimate is kind of a chrome-looking, unfinished raw metal. They went ahead and they put the resin on it. They went ahead and painted that as well. So to me it still feels like the Ultimate Trigger, but to someone who looks at it they may think it's just the enhanced, but no, it is indeed the Ultimate Trigger, and they did paint it, which, you know, it does look nice with the overall finish of the rifle. Everything matches, which is kind of nice. And again, here is the actual model to show that this is the same rifle that I sent out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this open and we'll look at the interior, and I'll show you what the inside looks like. Alright, so I went ahead and I got it broken down here. Now part of what they did in the estimate is it says that they fit the bolt carrier, they smoothed the action rails, and the dehorned added a Rifle Dynamics retainer plate, the fuller rear sight modification, sandblast, everything we just talked about. But I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here's the plate that they added, the fuller plate. It's really hard to see like where they dehorned and where they smoothed everything out. I can say it does feel a little smoother than when I sent the rifle out. It could just be me, but it does feel a little smoother. The action does feel nice. Again, here is the bolt, the piston, looks like they went ahead and they painted all this as well. They put a coating of some sort of oil, not sure what, or grease I should say, lithium, white lithium grease possibly. Let's see. And even the cribs that I sent off, they went ahead and they painted that all to match as well. So now let's go ahead and oh yeah, and on this gas block, this is their new adjustable gas block. Right there is how you would do your adjustments. This was all done at the factory, or I should say at the shop. They went ahead and they test fired it, and they went ahead and put the pressure where it needed to be for that 124 that I like to use. So this should all be good to go. I'm looking forward to getting out to the range and testing it out. But we're going to go ahead and take a break and put this on the scale, and we'll see what the weight is, and we'll see how much weight savings there is. And we'll be right back. Alright, I went ahead and put her on the scale. And so this is after the modification. As you remember, before the modifications, this rifle weighed in right about 7.4 pounds. So currently, after the modifications, we're looking right at 7 pounds. Now, that's a savings of about, what, 0.4, not quite a half a pound off this rifle. And some may say, hey, that's a good deal. To me, you know, I was kind of hoping to get a little bit more out of it. However, one thing I did notice is the handling does feel a lot better up front. It's no longer front heavy like this rifle used to be, so I do like that, and I'm looking forward again to running this rifle and just messing around with it and seeing how it really does feel when you're using it. Now, on a side note, we here at the shop, we happen to have one of the Destructive Devices Industries, one of the DDI AK-47S rifles. They no longer produce these rifles. I believe Palmetto State bought them out. But I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the scale as well. It's close in comparison. It's kind of set up the same way, minus the Ultimac. It doesn't have a folding stock, but it is similar in the way that it looks. So let me go ahead and throw that on the scale, and we'll take a weight on that, and we'll see the difference. Alright, so here is the DDI rifle that we have here at the shop. This is the 47S. They no longer make this. As I said, I believe that their company was bought out by Palmetto State. This has a fixed rear stock, a similar front sight, just a bird cage flash hider, standard AK polymer furniture. This one here from the factory weighs in right at 6.7 pounds. So this one here from the factory is lighter. Now that could also be because the 107FR is a folder. There are some differences with that. The Ultimac may add a little something to the weight. I'm not quite sure, but we saved from 7.4 down to 7. This one from the factory is right at 6.7. I want to mention one more thing. With this Magpul furniture, I did not test the side folder before I sent it off to Rifle Dynamics, and Casey did tell me that the handguard will obstruct the rifle when it's folded. And I'm going to go ahead and show you here, if I can with one hand, what I mean. So when it's folded down, it doesn't lock into place. It's because this handguard just happens to touch and hit that rear stock. So what needs to happen if you happen to have an FR series arsenal and you want to put this furniture on, this is going to have to be trimmed back. So what I did was I went ahead and took a pencil and I marked out where on this rifle the stock is hitting, and you can kind of see this much of the stock's going to have to, or I'm sorry, of the handguard is going to have to be trimmed out just to make that fold right. I'm not too concerned about it right now. I want to go ahead and run this rifle first, and after I run it and test it and all that, then I'll go ahead and make this modification to make it fold. But I rarely, if ever, will ever fire this rifle with the stock folded. Maybe for carrying, or maybe for just stowing it away, it might be kind of handy, but for an actual practical use, I don't think I'll be running it folded. So just wanted to bring this up to everyone's attention as well. It's kind of nice to know if there's something like this that exists. Alright, so we're back at the range today. It's about 53 degrees, mid-December. Weather's beautiful. Clear skies. very little breeze today. So let's see what this Rifle Dynamics conversion can do. Alright, so we're done doing our test. I shot 3 different times, 3 different targets. This will show you what's happened. This is offhand on the bench. I'd say my best one's right there. This was the second one that I shot, so here's, I believe, the first one, and then here's the last one. So 124 grain, 100 yards. This is completely factory. This is what they did at the factory when they sighted the rifle in. I haven't adjusted anything. Alright, now here is off the bench on blocks. You'll see my groups aren't great. They're kind of all over the place. Not quite sure why. They're a little bit tighter there, but I threw one. Then here they kind of start to scatter a little bit. This is 124 grain, 100 yards off the block, and again, this is without any adjustments to the sights. This came directly from Rifle Dynamics. They did the sighting in, and I'm just going with what they did. Alright, I wanted to share this with you. I went ahead and threw an aim point on the top of that Ultimax rail and did some fine tuning. So this is where I am at now. This is a lot better. 100 yards, 124 grain. This is off the bench. This was a combination of the rest and then offhand. Overall, I'm happy with this. I am not a great shooter, but to me, this is good enough at 100 yards with an AK.